Welcome back, survivors! In the last episode, we built this 120 per minute quicklime machine. Well, now we need to turn it into our basic fertilizer, right? The first step we're going to need, let's just put down an assembler real quick. We had a small machine set up in the last episode, but it was not very efficient, and I didn't like the output at all, so I decided to redo it. So what we need to do for our basic fertilizer, we've got to input all of our quicklime powder. We've got 120 per minute. Now we need to get 120 plant ash per minute. All right, and to do that is going to be fairly simple. We are essentially just going to take two, well, you can't see them, they're inside there, two of these stone furnace setups. In fact, I could probably just click it and place it down. I wonder if I could squeeze it in like right here. Yeah, this is what I'm going to try to do. Squeeze it in something like this. I want two of them. Actually, do I want them rotated backwards? I think I want them rotated backwards. So let's grab that, duplicate that, and then we want our crucibles on the top. And we do want to grind these, so we're going to build them, I think, all the way across the top like that. And so then we'll just have to feed this with wood or charcoal or whatever we're going to use. In this case, I think I'm going to do something similar and just do it with a simple little stack. Let's try, you know what? Something a little different today. Let's see if we could do this. Oh, I need wood. So one thing that happened, actually, in between episodes is they changed the stacking on several things. Our wood planks now stack up to 600. So do stone. So that's nice. I think nails do as well. Yeah, nails stack up to 600 now. I wonder what else I'm missing that stacks up to 600. I wonder if clay does. No, clay does not. What about bricks? Oh, well, I don't have enough bricks to see. My brick line is currently out. Here's the end of day 44. Of course, our fully automated shop here. I spent a bunch of money on some stone and stuff like that, but it's logs, but now we still made over 20 grand. My brick line is currently off. I need to feed it with stone and some wood. I got to refeed a bunch of machines. I've kind of been putting all that off, focusing on this thing for the past day or two. So we need to grind this, right? So it is. I guess I should say it is cool that the things stack higher now. I don't have enough bricks to check to see if that's stacking up past 200 or not, but let's see. So we got to grind this. So let's just put grinders on the end of these. I think that's going to be the easiest way. And then what I wanted to do was just something. I wonder if this is the right. Yeah, this should be the right length. Let's just do that. So now we don't have to worry about putting any conveyors for our table saws. I wonder if any lifts for our table saws. I wonder if this is gonna snap right in. Yeah. Oh, you know what I didn't consider, though? We need input. We need room for our inputs for our furnaces. Eesh. Okay, so what if we just did this? Let's build it. Get the correct height. And copy it. Hit T to move it back a square. It would have looked cool that way, but... because we've got to... Alright, so we got to make room for our belts. So we just need a block there. A block there. We need one belt going in for each of these. And we're just going to do it like that. I'm not going to bother with trying to optimize this because for some reason I cannot find how much wood planks you need to feed this to keep it running constantly. I can't find that information. Like it's not, I don't see it in this menu, in the V menu, or even in the other help menu. I'm just not finding it. If you guys know the number, that would help a lot in some of these builds, but it's not vital, I don't think. So let's get down. I need more wood. More wood. Oh, and I gotta feed this too because I'm running low on planks. I gotta restock all my machines. I've kind of neglected all that. All right, let's put down a couple of those. And then we just want to block this all the way across. And now we just have to input our sage right here. And the end product, in theory, when I get done with all this, this should be able to feed itself, right? This setup should be able to feed itself with sage once we combine it with the basic fertilizer and start automating our plant production. this should be able to feed itself. But for now, we're just going to put a... now that they stack higher, I wonder if sage stacks higher. That'd be cool. Let's just put a storage box. And all we have to do is lift this up to there. And we're just going to run these all the way across like that. And we're just going to fill that up with sage. A little something like this. All these little crop plots here are going to be moving. Let's see. Fill that up with sage. They do not stack higher than 200, but that's okay. All right. And now that's all going to go in. We're going to have to go buy some wood. I should probably color code that so it's easier to tell what goes in there. Alternatively, I could put down some more blocks back here, put storages to keep these table saws fed. Yeah, I'll probably do that. All right, so that is our output. Now, we just need to take all this out. I think probably the best way is just do it with... let's combine them all. Let's merge all these lines into one. A little something like this. I got that one too high. And we will just take them all out. That should be 120 a minute. Now that I think about it, we probably need a faster conveyors like this. We need our output at the top. We're just going to run them out like this. So with this being 120 a minute, I think we're going to need 2 belts coming out. And now I can redesign those. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Because our belts can only handle like 60 a minute, or even with the first upgrade of our belts, it's only 40, let's see, 67, like 75 a minute, I think, on that. So I that's going to mess up my math, actually. But we know we should be producing 125 a minute out of this. So let's feed this with wood, and then now we've got to combine these 2 lines for our quicklime, and then these 2 lines for our plant ash into an assembler setup. And what I've got is a little something like this that I've designed. And the idea is that our inputs are going to come in on this side. They're going to feed into the machines. We got 1 input for each line. So one is going to be sage, one is going to be the plant ash, one is going to be the quicklime. Doesn't really matter which one I hook up to which, but we just need to have, and I think I haven't measured this yet, but I think I've got the dimensions correct, where it should just plug right into this, and we'll just have to belt this across. So we're going to leave a little bit of space in between so that we can route this across. I haven't tried it yet, but that's the plan. I guess no time like the present. And then our output is going to come down here. This is going to be our basic fertilizer. Should come out right here. And we just put this in a storage. And I suppose I could make this like stackable, so you could double it up if you wanted to. You would basically just put a bunch of blocks around it, and then maybe some table stands. Yeah, you'll need table stands in places like this and across here, and then you could basically copy and paste it and stack them on top of each other as high as you need, as long as you can feed your inputs and outputs. It should work. So let's just copy this. I'm trying to think if I actually need... I put these here for a visual so that I would know where the inputs and outputs are, but I don't think I need them. I'm just going to copy it and paste it and see. We'll go like that. All right, and hit T. I just have to remember my orientation on this. This is my input side. Okay. And did I line this up correctly? I counted the numbers. Yes. That looks like it's lined up correctly. I think that looks right. I'm going to leave 1 space there. Yes. Okay, good. We got it right. Let's put down a belt to feed that in and that in. And now we just need to feed this in across. And what I'm thinking of doing... I could have put this machine somewhere else, and this would have probably have been easier. But I'm just thinking of taking it across. Let's go a little something like this. And we'll just lift it. Like, oop, if I would quit hitting the button too many times. Something like that should take our plant ash in and move it across. Now, I'm not going to put down storage boxes. You probably could if you wanted to replicate this, put down storage boxes and route it a little differently. But there are options. Now, the tricky part is going to be getting the other output across to there. But I think we can do it if we use a couple of lifts. We could use... Oops, wrong button. I want a... We're going to need a table stand to get across these belts right here. And then we'll just put down some blocks. Across there. There. And then just pick this back up with a lift. It's probably not the most elegant solution. We want the input at the bottom. But you guys know me. I'm not as much about elegance as I am about getting it to work. I am more function over form. Let's delete that and get it routed correctly. I just need you to go that way. I don't need it to be like a four-way split. What I want this one to do is come out of... Yes, like that. No, it keeps wanting to go the four-way. I'm afraid that this line is going to snap into it, and I don't want that. So let me see if I can just run that there. And let's see if we can trick this one to do what we want. There we go. That's what I want. Yeah. So I didn't want those two lines to touch. There we go. Now that should come across to there. Okay. That's our two lines set up. Let's feed all these machines. Let's get some fuel in here. We need some wood and turn all these machines on. And let's see our basic fertilizer start coming out with any luck, right? If I got all the belts set up correctly. What do we need? I'm just going to grab like 12 of those. Oh, you know what I did? I put grinders there. We don't need grinders, do we? I was thinking still of the plant ash, of the quicklime. I do not need grinders right there. So let's do a little something like that. Yeah, this could have been designed a little bit differently. There is one line coming in. Let's just do a little something like that. There we go. We got it set up. It's always a little troubleshooting step I usually have to do with my builds because I am not amazing, but I get the job done. We can pick up all these blocks now. We don't need all of those there. Save ourselves a little bit of planks. Oh, I think it's working. I see a couple of the machines working. There's our fertilizer coming down. That is so cool. All right, there's our basic fertilizer. Now, that is a much more efficient setup. We were getting like, I don't know, 6 a minute. Now we should be getting, what is this, 15 a minute times, 8? 15 times 8? What is that? What is that, guys? 100? Is that 100? Something like that. 120. No, it's 120. It should be 120 fertilizer. That's right, because we're inputting 120 and 120. We should be getting out 120. Yeah. That is so cool. Okay. I can feed this with a little bit of the extra stuff I picked up from the old machine. Let's see. Oh, I've got sage stored right here for this very machine. That's right, I forgot about that. Okay, we had a little bit of fertilizer that the old machine built. So let's put down let's put down big storage boxes for this. Let's rotate that. We'll just dump them directly into this large storage box, toss in a little bit of extra we have. And that, guys, oh, I love it. I love it. So it was a quick little build, but we got a lot accomplished. So now, what do we do with all this fertilizer? Well, the next step, let's see. I think I've got it researched already. Let me scroll back out. This thing is so large. Yes, the nurseries. That's what I want to work on next. So, the nursery. Let's take a look at a little bit of that, get a basic idea how it works, and then we'll try and scale it up. Like I said, I would eventually like to replace all these crop plots and have whatever nursery is going to feed this sage automatically so that we don't have to manually fill that up anymore. That'd be nice. Plus have some flax automated so that we don't have to manually come over here and plant all of our seeds anymore. All right, I've been playing around with these nurseries for a minute, and the idea is, I don't know the numbers, I haven't worked out the math yet, but what I'm going to build is something that we should probably be able to scale up. So I'm just going to start with 2 of these. All right. And I guess the thought process is we have fertilizer that comes in and we put in a seed. Let's just go buy a couple of sage seeds. I think that would be the easiest way to do this. Just start with sage because that's what we're working with. I'm going to grab 4. We'll just grab 4 in case we want to double this up. I'm just going to start with 2 and then try and figure out the math to see how many we need for how much fertilizer we're making, or I don't know if it really makes a difference. But okay, so let's put in a sage seed on each of these, and then we need to feed it fertilizer. So the idea being I want it to be able to snap into this. So it looks like we could have 2 outputs from that. So let's run our outputs. Let me think about, yeah, like this. Let's do it like this. We'll have it come into there. And then a second line, we could just double this up. So let's do this one. We need to rotate it. And like that. Yeah, like that. Oh, that's cool that it copies the seed too. Okay, and then so our outputs, if it's going to come in from this side, we want our outputs to go... We don't want them to feed back in on itself, so let's have our outputs go this way. Like that. I think that looks good. And if we needed to stack this, we probably could. We just use like lab stands, so we could stack this up. I don't know if that's really necessary, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to at least be prepared for it if we ever want to stack this or make it bigger or produce more resources. Yeah, something like that. I think that's going to work, actually. Let me hit B to copy it. And if we ever... let's see. Hold Shift. I always forget to do that. Hold Shift. We'll copy that. We'll hit T to cut it. And we want to feed it directly from this machine. So we'll snap it. Make sure I'm looking at this right. Like that. I wonder if we could do 2 of these. Let's try it and see. Let me grab 4 more sage seeds. Let me see if that would... if that's going to be too much, if it's going to use more fertilizer than we're making. But I think we're making a lot. I think we're making 120 fertilizer, so... I don't know how much these things use. Is there a math number on this? It just says 12 a second. 12 a second. Divide that by 60 seconds, and how much does each one of these use? That would be the basic math, but let's get some... our seeds in here. Like that. And then what this should do... if I've got it all set up, is output our sage at the end. Is this pulling any fertilizer out? Oh, I can't actually see if it's working. I should probably pick those, Okay, I do see it going out. Okay, yeah, these are filling up. These are filling up. Or the back ones are not, so I've got something incorrect. Oops. Well, I goofed that up, didn't I? Oh, I didn't run the belt all the way to the end. Is that the problem? Yep. I didn't run the belt all the way through. There we go. That right there is... yeah, that was the problem. Okay, I just didn't run the belt all the way through. So now, copy that. Make sure it's facing the correct direction. And now that's all working. All right, we can see the fertilizer flowing into each one. Oh, and I already see some sage coming out. Cool. Okay, so let's copy that. Let's get these... oops, lab stands back on top of everything so it looks clean. Although I kind of like being able to see the resources move, but this way it should be stackable. Like if we put blocks on the outside of this now, I don't know how high we need it to go. I guess over the top of these plants. So that's what, too high? And then let's do this. I think it needs to be 1 higher. That's what it looks like to me. I guess you could use... and of course, you could use stone here or whatever block you like. I just like the wood. It's cheap. I'm cheap. And now, the idea is, once we get this up to the correct height, that we're going to put down what I like are these beams. We're going to hit T to go to the wider one. Oh, I got it right. Yeah, look at that. 5 across. And let's just copy... Oop, I went the wrong direction. Let's copy that across the top. And that should be stackable now. Like, we could copy that blueprint and stack another one on top and double this machine. Same thing on this side. If we do it like that, now we could copy the whole machine, take it to wherever we want. What am I stuck on? Take it to wherever we want, and this would feed... You know, we could just plug it in wherever we need it if we needed to copy this recipe later, or we could stack it on top of each other if we ever needed to produce more right here. But I think we're good with that. We should put down a storage box. Let's see if I hit the right button. The storage box will pull up. And what do we want? Do we want the bigger one? I think we'll go with the bigger one. I am out of iron. Out of iron. Here's my iron. We're out of iron. Oh no. Oh, that's because the nails stack higher now. Oh, it used up all my iron making nails. Okay, so let me make sure this machine stays stocked for a little while. Yeah, let me go buy some iron ore to make sure this backs up into our ingots, stay full again. Oops. While I'm waiting on the iron, let's just use a couple of the smaller boxes. You guys will at least start getting the sage to flow into this box. There we go. And now I need that sage to come back to this machine to feed itself. So I'm just going to take one conveyor belt, kind of get an idea of where I need it. I need it to feed into the back of that box right there. So I need it to run from here back to this machine. It's probably a little bit nicer way of doing this. Or I probably could have thought of it beforehand, like possibly even stack this setup, build it similar to this so that it's stackable, and maybe even put it back here and route a conveyor belt into it that way. But there's so many options in this game. It's like there's no wrong way to do it. You just be as creative as you really want to. Sometimes I'm feeling a little lazy and don't make it stackable. Sometimes I do. You know, you have options either way. It is kind of weird that the plants don't need sunlight, though. I find that kind of weird that they grow with them being covered up, and I actually had to search on the forums to verify that is the case. They don't need the actual sunlight to grow, which seems weird to me, but whatever. This is a video game. This is not very realistic. So now, because we ran out of sage up here, so we're no longer getting the plant ash. So that should be flowing now. It's hitting that line, and that sage is going to move across. Oh, that's super satisfying to watch, too. All those belts moving. So the sage is going to run across, and I think that should be enough. Just using one side should be enough to feed this whole machine right here. Like, how much is this using? 20 a minute, so 120 is what that's using. 120 sage per minute. Huh, I wonder if that is enough. I guess we'll know if we watch this and this starts to fill up. If that's producing 120, how much are these each producing? It says 20 a minute. 20 a minute, so I've got 4, so that's 80. That's actually not going to keep it full, is it? So I also need to route a line from this one over to here as well. Just feed them both in like that. Now that will definitely fill them up. And then if I ever need any sage, I could just come over to this box and pull it out, because this box should fill up once everything backs up and it hits the full production line and everything starts producing. Yeah, there's our plant ash coming back out. So this should actually be almost self-sustaining. The only thing I have to do is fill it with the wood and the stone in the back. But other than that, man, I'm out of stone back here. Other than that, it is automated. Like, my plants are automated. I'm trying to get everything automated. That's like the ultimate goal, right? I don't know how many I need. I'm just going to buy a bunch. Let me get 20. 20 ought to work. The ultimate goal is to get everything automated, where I can just kind of AFK this game for a while. That would be funny. I'm not a fan of AFK gaming, but it would be kind of cool to be able to do that if I needed to. That's running. We'll need to go buy some wood here in a minute, make sure everything stays, all of our lines stay full. But yeah, that is working very well. I really like this setup. And now the sage is going to feed itself. How much are we producing again? So we're actually producing more. We're producing 80 per side, so this is actually making 160 sage per minute, and we're using 120 right here, so we're actually going to end up with like 60 sage per minute left over, which I can then use to feed some of my other machines, like my potion machine, which is one of these. I'm getting kind of mixed up on which machine is which. I'm making potions in 2 different places. This is one of my potion machines right here to make the bandages, which it looks like it needs to be refilled with sage. And then I got another one around here somewhere making more potion, making just the straight potions. Oh yeah, right here, this tiny little guy back here. This one is making the potions as well. So yeah, I'll be able to refill that. I am still going to need to grow flax until, I guess... This seems like a lot to build, to duplicate, just to make flax, but I suppose there's no reason we couldn't do that. The same thing for flax. But I guess the next step is to figure out what's like the next thing we need to work on, right? Because now we have our basic fertilizer line, and that's working well with our nursery, and we're getting an excess of sage, so I should not have to plant much, if any, sage. I'll probably have to plant a little bit here and there, just to keep up with the demand of all the machines. But like, what is the next thing we need to work towards? We've got glass, we've got bricks. What is this line right here? Pipelines. We have a conveyor drawbridge. A drawbridge conveyor. I'm not sure if I need that or if I'm going to use that. Crossway tunnel, okay. None of those are building. Like, these are all like tools, but I don't think those are the products. What we ultimately need to get to is this vitality potion, so let's go down the line. A blender. Okay, so the blender is what we're going to start working towards in the next episode. A blender and some flasks. It looks like extractor. So we're going to have to start setting up a whole new line. I am probably going to find a way to copy all this and use it for flax as well, or maybe even stack one. I don't see it if there's any reason why I couldn't stack it again. I don't know. I'll have to play around with it, because ideally I would like to just automate this so that I don't have to plant any more sage anymore, any more flax anymore. So I probably need to scale these machines up, make them bigger. I wonder what's the numbers on this, like 15 a minute. It's 120, right? 15 times 4 would be 60. We have 8, so that would be 120. So we're making 120 fertilizer a minute. How much are we using? Did we ever do the math on that? 12 a second? So yeah, we do have an abundance, because we should only be pulling... If these are every 12 seconds, that means it's using 5 fertilizer per second each, and we've got 8 in here, so 8 times 5 is 40. So we're only using 40 fertilizer per minute, but we're producing 120. So yes, we absolutely could and should stack this. In fact, I'm going to do that like right now. Why not? Like, stack this up. Oh, that means my belts are wrong right here, though. I could fix that really easily, though, if I just had left myself some space right here. Let me fix that. Let me do something real quick. Let's copy this build. And that. And now can I confirm it? Can I paste this? Oh, I need to get a bunch of materials like iron and nails. But yeah, I think that's what I want to work towards next, is stacking this up. Because we could actually do that 3 times if we're only using... Gosh, is that math right? 8 times 5 is 40. Yeah, 40. So we're using 40 a minute. But we're producing 120, so we could actually stack 3 of these for this machine. Wow, we're going to end up with a lot of sage or a lot of flax, which is good. I mean, that's ultimately what we want. But yeah, that's the build. It's working fantastic. We have our nursery growing. We have our our fertilizer going. We have a lot of options now. I will probably adjust this off camera. I will probably scoot it back a little bit so I can squeeze in some belts in here and route some of this up to the next level, stack this on top of itself, and then produce twice as much sage in this case, or if the next time when I do it, I can make twice as much flax or whatever we're going for. But that is going to wrap up this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a future episode. Hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. Lets me know you enjoy the content you'd like to see more. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.